You were listening to episode 104 of the Game Deflators Podcast. My name's John, and I'm joined by Ryan.
Hey, everybody, here at the Game Deflators Podcast, we're going to talk about a console you should pick up, games you should play on it, and all this for around $200 in this week's Starter Kit Showdown.
Thank you for that, sir. So, as you just heard from Ryan, this is going to be our Starter Kit Showdown for the PlayStation 4. If you haven't heard the previous episodes, go check those out. We've got one on PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. This week on our episode, we are going to be talking about a few different things. The first one being Sony just bought Crunchyroll for $957 million, Ryan. That's exciting news. We're also going to be covering forecasting of PlayStation 4 games. So, with this being a Starter Kit Showdown, I'm going to be looking at games that you should probably pick up for the near future that are going to have a collectible type aspect to it, maybe go up in value. And then Ryan's going to give his Starter Kit Showdown of games that he would put into a PS4 collection for $200. We'll also cap it out with the Blair Witch project, or really Blair Witch on PS4. Dude, that game was freaky.
Spooky.
When we got to that point in the game where I was like, all right, we're good.
By the way, you're not listening to this on Happy Spooky Day, but Happy Spooky Day to everybody. I hope it was a good one. Yeah. I hope you got lots of candy.
Or lots of spookies.
Or lots of spookies. I hope you didn't get egged.
Yeah, that'd be a bad thing.
Do they do that anymore? Is that still a thing? Like, is the trick still out there?
So I've actually seen on my Nextdoor app and Ring that people are getting egged, so I guess it's still a thing. I got ketchup one time. Somebody literally like grabbed a ketchup packet from like a grocery store and like wound it up,
twist it up, and they threw it
at my car at one point. So it's like this thing of red. That was years ago, but yeah, I got ketchup one time. Okay, so with all of our episodes, we're gonna go ahead and kick it off right now. You know what? No, let's not kick it off with what I picked up and what I'm currently playing. Let's let the people know where to find us. So you can, of course, catch us on all those awesome podcast applications out there: Podbean, Spotify, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts, wherever podcasts are found, and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It's going to be at The Game Deflators on Instagram and Facebook, and at Game Deflators on Twitter.
Because they don't like the.
Exactly. Okay, so now, recent pickups. Super light week for me. In fact, the only reason I picked this up is because my buddy that's coming into town, Justin, who's going to record with us next week, we've always had this running joke of what's the best PlayStation 2 game, and we always say that it's the Bible game on the PlayStation 2. So I picked up the Bible game.
I'm surprised you didn't already have it.
I am too. So yeah, we're gonna play the Bible game next week. Actually, yeah, let's play Bible game next week.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. That's gonna be kind of ridiculous. We'll do that and we'll play some Mario Party.
What's the going rate? What'd you pay for it?
I paid like $9 and I wasn't happy with the condition, so I am going to return it, but I'll hold on to it long enough so we can play it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I wanted to...
You've been warned, seller.
So it says complete, and I buy it. Like, I didn't go through to look at the condition. It says complete, very good condition. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, that's enough for me to know, and it didn't say scratches or anything like that. I get it. It comes in, and of course, I didn't look at the pictures. So I look, and there's no manual. I'm like, you said complete in your title. Like, I can see now why people will be like, hey, you didn't represent that correctly, because not everyone looks at pictures for small games like this. So, yeah, my mistake on not looking at the photos, but it came here in time, which is cool. So we'll get the return, we'll send it back. It does have some scratches, which I wasn't happy about, and we'll kind of go from there.
Buyer beware.
Buyer beware. But yeah, so I got the Bible game. I didn't play a whole lot of games this week. Just super busy prepping for my buddy to come into town, cleaning up around the house, just craziness. But I did play a little bit of Jade Cocoon after our last episode, and then like once or twice during the week. And the game it's interesting. It's kind of slow paced, to be honest. It's not where I would want it.
Plot-wise?
Yeah, like I get what they're doing, and it's just an interesting concept of like having to capture different I guess they're creatures. I don't remember the exact tone, but
Mons. Some type of Mons.
Some type of Mons. And you got to capture them, and you spin them into silk, and you sell the silk to get your items, and you can capture others and merge them together like evolution to create new monsters that are able to be summoned into battle and fight for you. So that's all fine and dandy, and like you have like multiple gates you can go to throughout the forest. So I'm in the Dragonfly Forest right now, and there's like 3 other gates, I think, to get into. So it's kind of slow paced right now. I do like the visuals. The voice acting's pretty cool. The controls are a little wonky, hard to control the character at times, just because you don't have access to at least it won't let me access the analog sticks for movement. So I'm using the D-pad, and if you like just happen to hit left or something, like you're basically trying to smother the D-pad with your thumb to go different directions, kind of like when you're doing Street Fighter moves on a D-pad where you have to like quickly move your thumb to do like forward down to get certain moves. Similar to that in a sense. It's just kind of difficult to control. So it's interesting. It's a short RPG, so I'm gonna muster my way through it and get it done, and hopefully Jade Cocoon 2 is better whenever I get to that point. But once I get done with this, I don't know what I'm playing next. Maybe some Tenchu. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I got, man. It looks like, have some exciting news, though.
Yes, no pickup, but anybody out there that's been listening for a while knows that I'm stoked for the Playdate to come out, and they finally dropped a new update. It's been like since May since I've heard anything new about it, I think. So they're going to be delaying the release until 2021. So, I mean, that's fine. Everything that's worth buying has been delayed until next year, it seems, anyway, so might as well pile on. But they're super excited. They sound like they're going to have like an unlimited supply. They're trying to not be able to sell out. They're getting all their manufacturing ready, and they're going to have an even bigger list of games available when it comes out than what they initially expected last year. So all good there.
Speaking of delays, did you see that Cyberpunk was also delayed to
like 21 days? Like, it's still coming out this year. It's just going to be December instead of November.
It's like the third or fourth delay this game has had overall.
Yeah, from what I can gather from hearing about it, it sounds like it's because they're trying to launch simultaneously on like 9 different platforms. Like the old like original launch PS4 is probably slowing them down a bit.
Well, and they said like PC is already done, for example. Like that's finished. It's good to go. But I guess
that's simultaneous release.
Yeah, which makes sense. But at the same time, like, at least they're patching it up. They're making sure it's a good game. Like, I can appreciate that. And that's where we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
Like, I would much rather see a game not have like a crazy day one patch. You're always going to have them for the most part, but I'd rather not see a crazy day one patch if the developer can take the time and delay the game and make sure we have a good experience up front versus popping in the disc and it's 4 hours until you can play.
Yeah.
So
the other unfortunate aspect, though, that we have talked about before as well, is that means there's going to be like 21 days of crunch for these guys.
Yeah, but I mean, who's to say that they haven't had 21 days of crunch already, and this is them allowing them to...
Just more piled on.
Yeah, just allowing them to fix those bugs and kind of get things cleaned up. I think it's fine, but we'll see. They talked about crunch with this.
Yeah, I think they've talked about trying not to do it, and then they did it, and then they apologized for it or something like that. But anyways, I feel like you've gotten off topic, John. I feel like you feel like this is another week where I haven't played anything.
I mean,
contrary to popular belief,
really?
I do sometimes play video games and participate in a video game podcast at the same time. So this week I finally started.
But you're not playing the game right now.
Not simultaneously at the same exact time. So I guess not simultaneously, but I will do both in the same week from time to time.
Okay, gotcha. That makes thanks for the clarity, Ryan.
Yeah. Anybody who's been listening for a while knows that I've not been playing Persona since like March.
But music to church of the game grinder's ears. You did what this week?
I played Persona. And I'm at the point where there's like on average it's like 68 to 80 hours, so I'm gonna just call it 75 hours. And I'm like 18 hours in when I started playing again, so I've got like almost about an hour a day that I gotta play to be able to beat this in time.
Well, and the good thing is you could spend like 3 hours in one day and take a break. But you shouldn't. You should just play 3 hours a day for a while.
Right, exactly. No, I'm going to wait till until it's 70 hours before the end of the year, and then I'm just going to marathon through. No sleep. No. Yeah, so I'm going to start cranking that out again. I got to relearn like all these systems. Like, that's one of the things that kind of, I think, pushed me away when I stopped playing was, well, I started playing like Dark Souls and Sekiro and all that stuff, but I think that I don't really get or maybe haven't just really tried to do like as much of the monster fusion, and I know that that's like a huge aspect of this game. So all the little bit that I did think I knew, I'm gonna have to go back and like read some wikis to try to figure out how to handle this game.
Has your wife been playing Tsushima or no?
No, not at all.
No. Okay, I was curious. I know you guys.
If you think I don't play games, let me tell you.
I don't know.
How long did we have Senua's Sacrifice, John?
And you guys never played it?
Nope.
No, you guys had it for like 6 months.
At least.
Such a great game, too. Well, it's good to hear that you're playing Persona. We're going to see if Ryan can actually complete this. So hedge your bets now to see if he completes the Inflation Deflation Challenge. Not Inflation Deflation Challenge. New Games Resolution Challenge.
I got to think of a game for next year that I'm actually going to be so driven to play, I just get it out of the way right away.
I mean, I wasn't really driven to play Shenmue, and that took me forever, man. Like, I think I beat Suikoden 2 faster than Shenmue. So, we'll see. Yeah, we'll figure that out. We got to get our game set up when New Year's rolls around. So, normally we don't have an article with these episodes, but this is
a tiny one.
Yeah,
and it's Sony.
Super tiny, and it's Sony related, so it made sense. And it's not gaming related per se, but it's still Sony. So Sony has agreed to buy Crunchyroll for $957 million.
I think they're still in like final talks, but it sounds like it's going to happen.
Yeah,
like it's not a done deal yet.
Yeah. So this is Brian Ashcroft of Kotaku. Like you said earlier, I'm pretty sure we've had an article by this guy before, but definitely check out his stuff. And so, dude, I think this is pretty cool. Like, they already own a huge stake in Funimation, really 95%. So,
which I didn't know.
So, yeah, and I've known that one for a bit. And, of course, you're going to have two anime-type streaming services, right, kind of joint together. So it does make me wonder, will they keep these separate, or will they have, like, one, kind of like Disney Plus with, you have Disney Plus, you've got your ESPN, you have, Hulu together. You've got those three and they can bundle them up, or you can keep them separate. I do wonder if we'll see stuff like that kind of coming from Sony. They do have Sony Pictures, so you're going to have movies available as well. So this kind of puts them into the thick of the streaming wars in a sense.
Yeah.
In terms of video.
Things
like PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus, Crunchyroll, Sony Pictures. Like, dude, that would be phenomenal.
Give me the Sony fan package.
That would be I wouldn't say their answer, but that would be pretty close to their answer to the whole Xbox, program that's going out, the Xbox Cloud and all of that.
Oh, like Xbox Game Pass and stuff?
Yeah. I think that would kind of be their answer to that, right? Like, you're not just getting games on this. Now you're getting movies. You're getting all the Sony Picture stuff. You're getting the Crunchyroll anime. You're going to get the games. You're going to get PlayStation Plus. All of that tied into one nice package. Mm-hmm. That could be pretty interesting for the PS5 moving forward if they go that route. So we'll hear more of this and how. I mean, it could not get tied in at all, too. So,
but I know there's been like some coordination in the past between Crunchyroll and Funimation. Like, they pretty much split up. Like, Crunchyroll gets all the subtitle versions, and then Funimation gets all the dub versions of stuff.
Well, now that Sony owns both, it's like, why would you even need to, have separate things? You could just make one thing. It could either be like just Crunchyroll or just Funimation. Yeah, Crunchymation. There you go. Ryan dubbed it first.
Or Funny Roll.
Yeah. Well, subbed it first because it's not dubbed. No, not subbed. You did dub it. You dubbed it. Yeah, Crunchymation. Okay. Well, that's about it on that one. So let's get into the PS4 games that you should buy for my end. So you're going to be looking at games that you would add in a collection to make like the perfect collection. I'm putting that $200 into games that I think are going to potentially go up based on certain criteria.
So John's got a list of games here, several of which I have no idea what they are. Several of which I know what they are, but I don't know why they would necessarily go up in value. So this will be a really interesting look into the mind of somebody that spends way too much money on video games.
Yeah, it really is, actually. Okay, so here's kind of my criteria. When you have, and it's interesting because of how many options we have available to us to make things collectible in a sense nowadays versus what we had in the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, kind of PlayStation 3 type eras, right, for what was available. And when I look at this, one of the things I'm not including are limited run games, because regardless if it's 1,000 count game, you know, like it's going to be limited, it's going to be rare from the get-go. I'm not looking at that.
Like not actual games from the company limited run, just releases that didn't have like a mass release.
Yeah, releases didn't have a mass release, or
nothing that was like this game only available at Target.
Well, no, I've got this game only available at Target type stuff on here. So, you know, those are fine, but I'm looking at like, that's fine. That's a limited release, you know, obscurity in terms of like, what the hell is this that I'm buying? You know, it's not super popular, but it could be popular down the road because it's pretty well reviewed. Little things like that. And you kind of look back at things like on the Super Nintendo and the N64 and PlayStation 1 and PS2, and you start looking at the games that were, in a sense, not like the most popular, right? But they were good. Africa's a good example on PlayStation 3. It's not really like the best game, but it's super flippin' obscure. Wasn't really mass produced. Not a whole ton of people have that game, and it's gone up in value. You know, like unless it receives some sort of like reprint, like some PS2 games are getting nowadays, it should stay in the direction that it's at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my criteria. And like I said, no limited run games. I don't see that being like, that's forced rarity.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like true rarity down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, and you know, just to bring it up again, this is kind of forecasting. This is an idea on what could be going up in value. This is not to say, yes, this is going to go up in value, buy every single one of them. So my first
Come on, John, put your rep on the line.
My rep on the line, right? And then also, I haven't played all of these games, which is part of it, right? Because when you do see some of these games come out pretty cheap or at a good deal, you're going to pick them up anyways. You're not necessarily going to play them right off the bat. Do you own all of these? Yeah. Just going through the list. Yes, outside of one, but I have it on purchase right now through eBay.
Cool.
Yeah. So Dark Rose Valkyrie, $13.82 right now. And these are all complete in box, which is different from the prior episodes I made because we're looking at this from a not nostalgia standpoint. This is a more forecasting standpoint. So Dark Rose Valkyrie is actually an exclusive JRPG to the PlayStation 4. Exclusives have been I wouldn't say hard to come by, but with some of these like third-party type titles, it's not, you know, uncommon to see it on multiple consoles, like, you know, on a Switch or an Xbox or PC or whatever it may be. This is, and it may be on PC, but this one, console-wise, for a physical disc, is exclusive to the PS4. So when you look at older games on like PlayStation 1, 2, 3, JRPGs are typically something that will go up in value down the road, and this one has pretty decent reviews at like 6s and 7s, and so it kind of meets that criteria of like, it's not too bad, people are willing to play this type of game, it's got decent reviews, and at this point it's super cheap. Another one, and this is actually something I forecasted a long time ago, probably about a year and a half, 2 years ago that I forecast this game whenever it came out, was Blue Reflection on the PlayStation 4. This one again is also exclusive to the PlayStation 4. And Blue Reflection, when I picked it up, dude, it was like $15 when I got it. And I saw this game and said, all right, we're looking JRPG, anime girls, pretty good graphics, decent reviews. You know, from all the trailers I watched, it looked pretty flippin' sweet. So I was like, this is going to go up. And it has. So since I picked it up, it's gone up to $57.49. Before I continue here, one thing that you'll notice is I don't have titles on here like Ease 8, Godzilla, Gravity Rush, all of that.
Stuff that's already through the roof priced.
Exactly. They're already, you know, 150 plus for some of these games. So I'm not going to be looking at those. Another title, this is going to be a horror VR game. And so you'll see a couple VR games on here or VR enabled. And this is more along the lines of, if VR, for some strange reason, because I know we'll have it on PS5, if VR does not pick up or it dies with the PS5, you're going to have a ton of VR type games that have only going to been released on the PlayStation 5. 4 and 5. So looking at this, I would say Home Sweet Home. It's a VR horror game. It's already pretty obscure to begin with. You can pick this up usually about brand new for about $50, but I have complete in box on here for $44. I think I got my copy at $35 not too long ago. And it's just, horror games in general have a pretty good later in their life cycle adoption from collectors. And this is one of those that I don't think it's been like super heavily printed. It's a PS4 based VR game, and it's obscure.
And horror is like the best genre for VR.
Yeah.
Because it's like everything that makes stuff scary, like you have to face it in VR.
Exactly.
Like it's like going to a haunted house inside your own house.
Yeah, and the game we played earlier, Blair Witch, I don't know if it has a VR component, but
I think there is a VR version.
if there is, I would ship
I'll look
bricks.
that up.
Yeah. So Home Sweet Home's another one. I think it's a Japanese-based horror story. So super cool looking. I've seen a lot of trailers for it. I do own it, of course, and whenever I do get VR with a PS5, this will be one of the games that I play. The next one is going to be Tearaway Unfolded, 867. This is a media molecule game. And I feel that this one was overlooked. It's got a lot of great reviews, and I just don't think it got like the attention it deserved. And so I think you're going to see a game like Tearaway Unfolded, which maybe didn't get the attention it deserved on the console, being overseen by games like Little Big Planet and eventually Sackboy coming out in Dreams. And so this is a title that it looks good. It's got the good reviews. The graphics are there. It's by a very reputable developer. I think this one down the road, you could see it go up. Whether or not it's in the 40s and 50s or anything like that down the road, and we're talking years from now, 867 I think is a bottom that you're going to find this game. In fact, I picked up my copy. It's going to be like $12 after shipping. So if you can find this game for under $10, I think it'll be worth it.
So this is just a great title that's worth your money to buy and will probably appreciate. That makes it good enough. Like it's never going to be like not all of these are ever even going to be like a $200 game.
Well, like something like Blue Reflection very well could be.
But Tearaway's not going to be.
Yeah, like Blue Reflection's still so obscure. Like I'm sure after some people hear this episode are going to be like, what? Go look it up and be like, oh shit, I should buy that. So...
And you heard it here first.
And you heard it here first. Nah, probably not. So yeah, I think Tearaway Unfolded will be in that realm, right? Not super expensive down the road, but something you'll be like, cool, I should buy this now because it likely will double, triple in value, potentially. The next one I have on here, which I have actually beat and I did enjoy, was Concrete Genie. This one looked beautiful. The game itself is great. I truly enjoyed this game. I gave it a pretty good review after playing it. And I don't think it was, really picked up too much. I mean, it's got the VR, it does have VR enablement on here, or at least Move controllers. And it's just a pretty game. It's got, a pretty decent story going for it. I did enjoy it all the way through. And it's $15 right now. It launched at 30, so I mean, you're really only looking at, since I played this, it's only dipped 50%. And, maybe it hits like $10. For a used copy, and if so, pick it up. Like it's not going to do you a disservice to pick up some of these games at their going rate right now. Even if they go down $5, there's a possibility that several years from now they do go up. Next one here is going to be Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise at 1847. I want to say I picked this up at like $15 complete in box, and it's now sitting at 1847. So I feel that this particular title, and this is actually an RPG. Interestingly enough, so it's an action-based RPG. It's got some decent reviews, and if it's kind of picking up already right now at 1847, I could see this going up a little further down the road. Whether or not it's a $70, $80 game down the road is a different story, but maybe this game goes back into the $30, $35 range here pretty soon. The next one I got, and there is a VR component to this, a standalone DLC type game that came out. Until Dawn. So they had Until Dawn, I think it was Blood Rush.
Rush of Blood.
Rush of Blood, yeah. So Until Dawn was the first PlayStation 4 game I actually played. And I loved it. It was awesome, dude. And I think I picked it up when it was like $15 at the time. It's sitting at 10. It's an exclusive title to the PlayStation 4. And, if you like the story-based type games where you kind of have to make decisions quickly, like a... God, what's it called? The origami guy. I'm thinking of a name.
Heavy Rain.
Heavy Rain, Detroit Becoming Human, those types of games. If you like those types of games, Until Dawn is going to be right up your alley. And
it's like a choose your own adventure.
Kind of.
They just had that other one, the Man of Medan or something.
I want to play that. And they have another one coming out, Dark Pictures or something, I think, is the other one. So those all look great. These are great types of games. You don't have to be fully committed to, grueling gameplay or anything like that. You just kind of sit back, enjoy the story, wander.
It's a fun like party thing.
Yeah,
this is a great like, I guess it's a little bit late for spooky night, but next spooky night, pick this up now because it'll be even more expensive next year come this time.
We'll see.
You could sit around with all your friends and play it. It's a great time.
Yeah, except it's pretty long, so I don't know about sitting in one sitting, but this would be one that
you could beat it in like a night.
Ooh, maybe. I don't know. I did take a while to beat it. Who knows? Maybe that was just me. You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, Until Dawn would be a good one. So that's one to pick up. The other one here is going to be Paranormal Activity Lost Soul. This is sitting at $20.63. They recently did a reprint, so this game was sitting at like $40 for a while, used at GameStop. You can now pick it up, I think, brand new for like $25. This one is supposed to be exclusive to Best Buy, actually. So I would say with this being exclusive to a retailer, we have seen things like Gravity Rush, which wasn't super popular when it came out, the remastered version at least, and that was exclusive to Amazon. They did like 2 prints, and now the game's sitting at like
that's
100.
like through the roof.
It's about $120 roughly for that game. And if you get lucky, you can find it at a GameStop or something for $60 if you happen to come across it, because they still sell it pretty cheap. Same with titles like Godzilla and Ys. Super hard to find locally in a shop like that, but if you do come across it, they are worth a bit. And so Paranormal Activity, The Lost Soul, exclusive to Best Buy. I do think they did another print recently, which would explain why Best Buy now has stock of it randomly. It's sitting, I think, new. I want to say I saw $15 through Best Buy. So
that's already a $5 profit.
Well, I mean, it's dropped because it used to be like $40 when I was looking at this initially. So I would say pick this one up. It's VR based, exclusive to a retailer. And it's horror, so it goes right in line with that VR. And of course, it's Paranormal Activity, so that's already kind of freaky to begin with. So this is a pretty good title, and it's actually got some decent reviews around it as well. And the last one I have here is Helldivers Super Earth Ultimate Edition. I don't know.
I've never even heard of this one.
Right? So this is a random one. I picked it up for about $10, or actually not even that. I think I picked it up for $8. Maybe a month ago, potentially. I was just kind of looking at obscure titles that I could find on like Amazon that were on sale, and happened to be on eBay and later on that night and saw it for cheaper. So Helldivers is like a top-down shooter, and it has great reviews, like 8s and 9s actually. This one, from what I see, is only on the PlayStation 4. It may be on PC, because of the type of game it is, but and with it being a third-party developer. But as far as consoles are concerned, I was only able to find this one on the PlayStation 4. So right now it's sitting about $14.44 for a complete in-box copy. You might be able to find it cheaper. If you're a fan of top-down shooters and such, definitely pick it up. It's got great reviews from what I have seen, 8s and 9s and maybe above that. And top-down shooters and side-scrolling shooters and all that over the years have typically appreciated in value. It's a very niche group of folks that play that, and this is right in line with those types of games. If it's getting great reviews, there's a lot of crappy top-down shooters and side-scrolling shooters you can play. If this is getting good reviews, it might be worth a pick up, just in case, and also to enjoy it.
So all this will put you down about $202.
Yep, and 80 cents. So we'll round it up to 203. So you got to go find a buddy to give you $3 extra. And then keep in mind,
But hopefully it'll go up.
Hopefully,
This is an investment in your future.
I would hope so. But, here's the thing. With 203 on these games, and it came out to, what was it, like 10 games or 9 games or something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's like 9 games. And so, if you look at these 9 games, you're looking about, what, $22.50 a pop, roughly, $23 a pop for these titles, and on average. And that's not to say you can't find these cheaper, Fist of the North Star, you could probably get at GameStop a little less than $18. Concrete Genie, I'm sure you can pick up a copy for $10. Same thing with like Helldivers. I'm sure you can still find a copy for $10. And Dark Rose Valkyrie, it's been sitting about $15. It's recently gone down a little bit to $13.82. But these are all games that you can find available for a lower price point if you're patient and you wait. So it's not to say it's going to cost you $203. It could cost you anywhere, from $180 to $203.
So you don't have to necessarily jump on it right now. Like they're not like all on a steep slope at the moment. You have to act fast. But if you see these lying around, well, and they might be worth it in the long run.
And certain ones I would say, like if you get a good deal on it right now, might be worth looking at, would be like a Blue Reflection, Home Sweet Home, and then Fist of the North Star, and maybe Paranormal Activity. Those are like the top ones that I'd say if you see these at a good rate that's like at or below this price point, you might as well pick it up. And you'll notice the one thing I kept in check here was I didn't go above what would normally be a retail rate. So Blue Reflection, you know, if you're looking to buy a new game, as we all know, new games typically drop in price for quite some time before they go back up, if ever. So a game like Blue Reflection has already seen that. It's already been at a retail rate, which I think was like 30 or 40 when it released. It went down as far as like 15, and now it's 57. So like, this is a game that if you see this, just grab it. You know, it's not going to hurt. You know, hold off on buying a new $60 game. Pick up something like this if it's of interest to you, and then just wait for that other game for, you know, a couple months. You know, wait till Black Friday.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have deals that come across in a lot of these. So, Ryan, that is in the mind of a collector and really just kind of a brain dump of everything I see with these titles. And you're going to have people out there that don't agree with my method, or, you know, say, oh, you're stupid for forecasting games. Well, you know what? At the end of the day, if I'm going to buy the games, I'm going to buy the games. And I'd rather
somebody out there is being like, just pick up 2 copies of Godzilla, you make more money.
Yeah, well, I have picked up like 3 copies of Godzilla in the past. But the other thing to keep in mind is if you're against the whole thing of like, oh, you're just picking up games for the value component. Well, no, it's not necessarily that. Like, I'm picking up games that I feel are going to be of interest to me and be able to play down the road, and looking at it from a component of, do I want to play, or do I want to pay $150 for a game down the road when I can pick it up now for $20? Like, sure, if it goes down like $10, as I've seen with games like Kingdom Hearts 3, I picked that up when it came out. It's $10 right now for Black Friday. Yeah, it's $50 that I wasted playing it back then, but my wife really wanted to play it. Same kind of concept there, right? So, sure, could I pick up Blue Reflection, you know, 4 years from now? Yeah, but it might also be $150 versus $57 right now. So that's kind of the things to keep in mind, and it's, you know, having seen so many games in the past where I'm like, I had the opportunity to buy it for like $20 and I didn't, and then you see it going for $60, and you're like, man, if I just would have at that time spent the $20, I wouldn't be spending $60 today. And you don't know what your financial situation is. If you have the ability to buy one of these at like $20, just buy it, because 6 years from now, when it's sitting at like $100 or whatever it may be, you'll have already had it in your collection, and you won't have to worry about, I really want to play that game, but now it's $100.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of the mindset on that.
We should check in on these next year at this time.
Maybe. We'll have to put a reminder for ourselves, see what the prices are. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
You, listener, remind us.
So
Thank you.
What would that be? Episode 156?
Yeah.
Roughly? Yeah, 52 weeks. We'll see how it comes down. All right, dude. Well, I've shown you what I would do for games that I feel are going to go up in value. And obviously looking at that from, if I'm to purchase a PlayStation 5, I'm going to have some backwards compatibility to play these anyways. So forecasting the ability to buy a PS5 and get some good games. What are you looking at for a PS4 starter kit as a PS5 alternative?
Yeah, so if you're like me and you don't like the way the PS5 looks, but you're not like me because you don't already own a PS4, well, my friends, have I got a deal for you. I put together this week's PS4 starter kit for the price of $200. That's assuming you can get a PlayStation 4 for $150. So that only gave me a slim $50 budget within which to get you awesome games to play on that PS4. And it was tough. $50 is not a lot to work with. That's less than the price of one brand new PS4 game. But I think I put together some good stuff here. So, number 1. Prey. This is a game I've actually played and beaten. Woo! Nobody saw that coming.
Oh, man.
Prey's an awesome, action shooter with like a lot of puzzle elements, a lot of exploration. It's got a lot of different, there's multiple endings. There's multiple different ways you can play the game. Like, you can really spec your character out in a bunch of different ways. So it's got some good replay factor to it. It looks gorgeous. It's got some spookiness to it. Ton of fun. Really good game. Can't recommend it enough. That's only $642. This is complete in box. You know me. I'm not selling you some loose discs. Next up, another game I've actually played, Monster Hunter World. This is $884. Monster Hunter, for those of you that aren't familiar, is like huge franchise, and the movie that's coming out for it looks dumb. But the The main idea is that it's kind of an RPG because you get gear, but you don't actually get like levels. You don't get stronger. The only way to get better at Monster Hunter is to get better at Monster Hunter. It's kind of Dark Souls-ish in that way, where like your actual skill and experience really helps you improve.
And one thing with Monster Hunter is it's a pretty long series in terms of like what's out there. So I think it started on PlayStation 2, if I believe. So you've got Monster Hunter games available to you for various consoles like PSP. I think the Wii U has a Monster Hunter game. So if you have those consoles and you're like, yeah, I don't want to take the dip yet and buy Monster Hunter World from Ryan's list here, you can always check it out on like cheaper consoles too.
Well, and this one has the benefit of being great online play. Like I played this with a bunch of friends before. It's very repetitive. So like when you're going to try to grind for parts to make new armors and stuff, like you can always jump in with somebody else and help them grind on some stuff because there's probably going to be something in it for you anyways. That's $8.84. Good deal there. Next up, I was just kind of drawn to put this one on the list. Doom. This is the 2016 Doom, not the new Doom Eternal. $9.50. It's not a game that I've played, but Doom is such like a long-running franchise, and this is such an extremely well-reviewed game that's just like full of heart-pounding action. I mean, it looks gorgeous, and it's something that I've always really wanted to play. So I think for $9.50, it rounds out a great shooter on this list. Next up, got to get some RPG love in there, so we're going to go with Final Fantasy 15. This was the reason I bought my PS4.
You never beat it though, right?
I certainly did not.
So I beat it for Ryan. It was good.
And I mean, like, I'm not even so sure. Like, I listened to Super Eyepatch Wolf's review on this last week, and he wasn't super stoked on the game. I know that I was so pumped for this game, I bought Final Fantasy Type O just to get the demo, which I actually liked the combat in the demo way better than I liked the combat in the normal game.
I think a lot of people had that same reaction. Like, I beat it while we were recording the podcast.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it for the most part. A lot of open world, a lot of fun to go through and explore.
It's a big game. It's a long game.
Lots of missions. There's a lot to do in this game, but it's not like that linear type aspect that the other Final Fantasies had. Like other Final Fantasies, you can do like the open world type thing later in the game. This just lets you do it from the get-go. And so it kind of deviates a lot.
Love the car.
Yeah, well, the car is okay. You can actually make it fly later on in the game, which is cool.
Yeah. I just like customizing it.
Yeah, so customizing was cool.
If I win the lottery, I'm getting a replica of that car made.
That'd be pretty awesome, actually, especially the flying one. But yeah, dude, I enjoyed Final Fantasy 15. The summoning was kind of weird compared to like prior games and such. So there's some components I didn't like, and the story towards the end was a little lackluster. But I believe they released an anime that kind of has like an alternate ending or true ending.
Well, there's a movie and there's like a 5-episode anime, and they're all like prequel or during. I don't know that there's any like post content, but there was the Royal Edition that came out, or not Royal Edition. Is it Royal Edition?
It's Royal Edition that's the one I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that has like the DLC
for everybody, but I think Arden.
Okay. Which I know the DLC, like it leaves out a bunch. Like if you play the game without the DLC, some stuff doesn't necessarily make as much sense, and they kind of try to ring you out. So this is just the basic version. This is the regular, but $704 complete in box. Man, what a deal.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Next up, had to be on the list, is the most expensive game on this list and probably the most worth it. God of War. God of War for the PS4. Totally an incredible, amazing game. Might be my favorite game of all time. Don't know, haven't beat it.
That's right. I remember that now.
But that's sitting at $12.39 right now. That's a really good deal. I mean, to get everything, all this goodness for under $50. I mean, $12 is the most you're paying for any of these. Like, I really, instead of Final Fantasy 15, I really wanted to put Persona 5 on there because everybody says that's super incredible. But it was going to be $13, and I was like, man, that is going to make it so much harder. I'm going to have to pick some crappy $5 game to round out this list, and I couldn't do it.
You could have done, what's it called, Order of 1886? That's actually not bad, and that's like $5.
Yeah, but it's only like 5 hours. I'm getting you playtime. Like, this is enough content here that you can wait till the PS5 becomes available again.
Well, see, it works out because Persona is probably like 3 times the amount of time it would take you to beat Final Fantasy 15. So by putting in a 5-hour game,
true.
you'd be okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. So God of War, gotta have like this. That God of War and this next one, Horizon Zero Dawn, I feel are like 2 of the essential must-own if you own a PS4 type games. So they had to go on this list. And Horizon Zero Dawn, John's beat it. I've not played it, but it looks incredible. John's absolutely given it all the praise in the world. $6.50.
So
complete in box. All of these are complete in box.
I'm going to throw a wrench into Ryan's whole thing here. So here's what's cool. If you wait until Black Friday for some of these games, God of War is supposed to be like $10 on Black Friday. Saves you $3. Horizon Zero Dawn with the DLC, I think runs about $10. So save yourself a little money. Get the DLC version of Horizon Zero Dawn, which, by the way, is 100% worth it on a DLC component of that. So yeah, if you're looking at that game, definitely buy the complete edition. Totally worth it.
So this PS4 starter kit is going to run you $200.69.
And of course, you can find a lot of these things locally. So a PS4 console, easily you can find it locally and maybe get 2 controllers out of that for $150. I see them all the time. So good stuff, man.
So you could actually get my PS4 starter kit. You could get all of John's games that are going to make you way more money down the road and save $100.
Yeah, that's true.
And just ignore the PS5 until they come out with a design that actually looks like it's worth buying and will actually fit in your entertainment center.
Well, yeah, it's actually part of it.
In 3 years.
Because right now it'd be sitting on my floor. Yeah, so if you wait a little bit, say 2 years, get whatever new version they have, like PS5 Pro or whatever the hell they release, you're going to get likely a better console. You're going to have missed any potential hardware malfunctions that could happen within a year to 2 years, as we see with some consoles, on failure rates. Now, granted, failure rates are not bad, you know, or they shouldn't be as bad as what they used to be with like the 360 and the PS3. The PS4 is phenomenal. I think the Xbox One didn't really have any failure rate issues as far as I know. So, you know, it still gives you that kind of comfort, right? Like, I can wait a year to 2 years. I can enjoy a bunch of games that came out the last generation.
It'll be like $200 cheaper, half the size.
And then on top of
run better.
You can always resell that PS4 down the road for like $50 less and put it towards a brand new PS5. So,
usually they give you a great deal on trade-ins towards new consoles at GameStop.
Well, initially. I don't know if they'll be doing that later on, but they might do it for like if there's a Pro type version that comes out for the 5. They might do something like that, you know, with older consoles, you know, whether it's PS4, PS5, a normal edition, whatever it may be. So we'll see. Now, our next thing here, dude, our inflation deflation game of the week. So this one is the Blair Witch. It is available, I believe, on the 360 not 360, Xbox One as well. This is by Bloober Team.
I looked it up. That's why I was so confused that it like just got the physical release. I didn't realize that it was like an Xbox exclusive when it came out at first, and then it came out digitally for PlayStation later, and then they finally waited until now. Like, I guess waiting until October to release it for a physical, you get that spooky month kind of tie-in. Like, you know, if people hadn't already bought it digitally, like, this is as good a month as any to release it physically.
Yeah, and so, I mean, the game, Xbox One for sure is what it came out on. Digitally, I think it was released digitally last year for various consoles. And then there was a PAL version that was released, I want to say, before the normal version for North America. So, or the physical version for North America, not normal. But yeah, this one's developed by Bloober Team. It is published by Lionsgate Games, so you got a little bit of horror back there. Designed by...
I've got it.
Go ahead and
it's
say...
Mateusz Lennart.
So it's a French name.
I looked it up.
Is it French?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it's French.
I just looked up how to pronounce.
So this was released worldwide on the PS4 digital December of 2019, and physical copies came out this year. So to my delight,
This month?
Yeah.
Right now.
This month, yeah. I just bought it like, what, a week ago? 2 weeks ago? Yeah, so to my delight, I've been waiting for this game to come out, and it finally came out on physical. So it is a survival horror-based game, and it's got reviews anywhere from 5 to 7 out of 10. So it's okay. And a lot of the concerns or things that people brought up, I could see while we were playing. You know? So I guess we'll jump right into it, man. The game itself, I thought was pretty...
It looks
good
good
looking. Yeah, it looks good. It's definitely not bad. And I could see if this was in VR, how flipping scary it would be.
Yeah, it would be real spooky.
You know, like, so we got through, I think, the first 4 chapters of the game because we wanted to get to a point where it was like the first type of encounter that you would have within the forest.
We ran into some kind of bogeyman.
Yeah, well, really a witch, I think is what we ran into. And so that was pretty freaking scary at first. And, you know, you got to flash your flashlight on them to, you know, kind of get them to disappear. And, of course, you get damage dealt to you and whatnot. But the cool thing about this game is it's very exploratory, and you're able to manipulate different scenes by looking at videos that you capture, and you're able to see those things come to life within the game itself. So a hint for anybody who gets stuck like we did and you haven't played this game yet, the first area has you find a video of a little boy who's playing with a police car that you're trying to track in the forest because he's been lost. And when you're playing that part, if you pause it on the police car and you're looking in the general direction of where he was playing and you turn off the camera, the police car appears, like just randomly. So freaky stuff like that. It is a little dark, I felt. Like, I get it, like why it's dark, but it does make it a little difficult to see and play.
I mean, you can always tone the brightness up, but I have a feeling...
I don't know.
I have a feeling it's just like, if the flashlight's like not pointing at it, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, so it's weird in that aspect where, not weird, but like you have a flashlight and then they're very good.
It's super focused. It doesn't have a lot of like that surrounding illumination that you like. It's
a very crappy flashlight that you're using, and it's not a shake flashlight, which is kind of good, so you don't have to worry about like shaking your controller. I forget which game I had to do that with, but yeah, you don't have that issue. You have a dog that's with you, Bullet, with your character Ellis, and
the dog seems cool.
Yeah, dog's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have different commands and stuff, and he's able to kind of search around and guide you in the right direction, which is nice. But there are instances where, like in that one scene where he just kind of like, you're running through the woods, it's like, Bullet, where are you? And you have like the little arrow indicating where you got to go to, but it's like just trees, like all over the place. And you're trying to find your way through just this mesh of trees. And I get it. That's like super cool. And it makes it scary, but we're not in VR. So it kind of hurts the gameplay for me in a bit, because now I'm just like rushing through these trees. I'm like, this is just a bunch of brush in my face type of thing. And I don't have that visual experience of like looking directly at it. So I wish certain components of that didn't happen. I didn't see any frame rate issues. I know somebody had mentioned frame rate issues. Some people had mentioned...
We didn't really get to a point where there was a lot happening on screen.
Well, that one... No, I mean, I can see, like, frame rate would be like any clipping or anything throughout the game, and I didn't see anything like that while we were moving. And even the first, like, hostile type environment that we dealt with the witch, there wasn't any major issues there. So either that's because of a firmware update that happened, and we played it after a firmware update, which I don't think we did because I haven't updated my PS4 since they were having issues on the recent update. There's that, but then the game itself is just, you know, like I said, it's dark, it's hard to see things.
So far, it's very walking simulator.
Yeah, very walking simulator-esque. You do have that little bit of the battle that we faced, and the story is actually pretty interesting. So, you know, I don't know where people are going to 5 out of 10 or even a 6 out of 10 out of this. I would say so far from what we've experienced, I'd probably put it more in that 7 out of 10 range. And surround sound is your friend on this game. Like, it's so much better.
I was super excited for this game when it was announced, until I realized I wouldn't be able to play it because I didn't have an Xbox. That doesn't matter anymore. Now I can play it. But
and it's short too. It's like 5 hours, I think.
Yeah. I think that the Blair Witch is like a good, you know, property to be picked up and turned into a game. Like, I think I saw when I was looking this up that there's some Blair Witch game that came out on like PC at some point in the past. But like, so many horror franchises out there that could be adopted into games. I think this was a good choice.
Yeah, and the whole forest thing is what really makes it scarier. I don't know about you, but if I'm in a woodsy type area, I don't like walking in woods alone, especially with a flashlight. You can't
That's why
see
you got
anything.
your dog.
Too much cracking in the woods and such. We used to do that in college. We'd go out to there was like a forest type area not too far from where we were. And we would go out there, like a group of 4 or 5 of us, and we just walk the trail at night with like flashlights. But even with like 4 or 5 people, that was spooky. So, and then there was a inmate, a previous murderer, actually at one time escaped the prison in that area and actually found him in that forest area. That was pretty freaky.
So, getting down to brass tacks, we've got most expensive version, complete in box PS4. $28.94
or new $30.
cheapest version, loose, PAL PS4, $20.62.
Which you could play on your North American PS4.
So the complete inbox is that $28.94. It's peaking now. John, what do you think? Gonna go up or down?
Well, I mean, seeing as it just came out, it's going to go down. That's 100% going to happen. But I do think that this game, I think it'll stay in that $20 range. Down the road, probably stay at 15, and then maybe it goes up. But it is a multi-platform based game, and that's the thing that's interesting or difficult to tell with a lot of these games now because of the digital aspect. But as we did see with games like DuckTales on the Wii U and the PS3. That game shot up in value. And the reason it shot up is because they removed, at least on Wii U, they removed the digital download for it. Because as we have said, physical media is the way to go. If your game is removed from digital download, or they just removed the digital download aspect in general, you're not going to be able to get it again. At least physical, you get to keep it. So this could be down the road where this game just is not in existence anymore digitally, and your only place to play it is on Xbox One or PS4. But we're so far from that point in time, and it did just get released. It's hard to tell. So a game like this I would typically say if it was exclusive to like the PS4 very late in the cycle, I'd say, yeah, this will probably go up down the road. But right now it's just too early.
Loose copy, $21.42, just came out.
Guess that one? That'll go down. Like a loose copies for these, from a collector standpoint, look, if you can pick up games right now, PS3,
who threw the
PS4,
box away already? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Who's the person that's going home? Don't need this.
Yeah, right. It makes no sense. Like,
there's somebody out there that still has one of those CD binders, and it's just full of all their games.
Oh, cringy, dude! I used to do that.
And then
PS1.
every time they buy a new game, they've got to move everyone over a slot to fit it in alphabetically.
Some people just don't have the space, so it makes sense, right? Like, if I don't have the space, why am I going to keep a game case? I get it, and they're not necessarily collectors, those people that do that.
I mean, they're collecting the loose disc for some reason.
Well, they're buying and they're throwing out the game, and then once they beat it,
maybe they're making that $7. Maybe they're keeping the game and they're making that $7 selling those cases off to people.
I've actually heard that it's actually better sometimes to sell, like, if you have a manual, a case, and a game that's rare, it's better to sell them separate than all together because people are willing to pay more money for like just a case,
just to finish off what they need.
Yeah, like more than usual. So
you've got the control there because they're not going to buy a whole new copy to replace their partial copy.
Yeah, like I just sold a manual for Metroid, Super Metroid, for like $30.
Jeez.
Like I didn't want it, I didn't need it, so I was like, I'll sell it for $30, and somebody bought it because they needed that to maybe complete a box and game copy that they had. I've sold a Castlevania box before for $50, like little things like that. And the game itself complete, I think, is like $90, and the game is like $40, the box is like $50, and then if you throw in a manual, you're looking at well over the standard value. So yeah, I could see where somebody could say they're gonna make $7 off a case. Yeah. So Ryan, overall, what did you think of this game?
It's I know about this game because I've watched somebody do like a whole review on it, and I know what comes up later in the game, and it's difficult with this one because usually when we do this, it's an old game and we're trying to figure out like is the quality of this game even really worth playing anymore in today's, like, is there something you could spend that money on better? But this is basically just evaluating like a brand new game, and I think it's hard for me to say that it's not worth the $28.94 because it literally just came out.
Well, and it's even $30 new right now.
Yeah, so you're basically not really saved, like you're not paying the tax, but you're also going to be paying for shipping, You know what, man? Like, I think at the end of the day, this game, you would say just right. It's not inflated, it's not deflated. Not yet.
Not yet. You don't know.
Because the price hasn't changed.
Yeah, and even so, here's the thing, man. Even so, if this game is sitting at $20 for a brand new copy, I'm still going to be like, it's deflated. Because even at $30, I think from what we have played and the experience that we'll have with this game, playing it through, and that horror aspect, I think it's worth $30. So even at $20 in several months, I still think it's totally worth it at $20.
Those reduced rate games that aren't like a full price are generally way more worth the price tag than some of those bigger AAA titles.
100%. Like Senua's Sacrifice was an example of, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice was a clear example of picking up a game for $20-30. Not a huge AAA title, although Microsoft clearly picked them up for a reason. And the game was phenomenal. I didn't pay full price. I didn't pay full price for this compared to, the $60 games you see out in the market. I think it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just right.
Just right. Okay, so next week we will be recording with my buddy. He'll be in town, so that'll be pretty interesting. I don't think he's ever recorded on a podcast, so audio quality issues coming forward with his audio.
We'll do our best.
We'll do our best to manage that episode. But we're going to play the Bible game with him. That is going to be interesting. And we'll probably play some Super Smash Bros. Or no, not Super Smash. We'll play some Mario Party as well. So quick Bible game just to see what it's all about. And then we'll play probably like a 15-round Mario Party, whether that's on the N64, GameCube, Wii, or Wii U.
Let us know which version of Mario Party you think we should play. Somewhere on the internet. You can find us at Game Deflators at Twitter, The Game Deflators at Instagram, Facebook.
And, of course, you can find us on podcast applications, as we noted earlier. Podbean, Podcast Addict, as well as all other Apple podcast applications.
Leave us a 6-star review. Be nice.
Yeah. So, also, you can find us on...
A spooky 6-star review.
I don't know about spooky. It'll be done by then.
A thankful... That's the next holiday, right?
Thankful review. Thankful for listening to us. You can also find us on thegamedeflators.com. Check out that website. It's pretty cool. Okay, well, that is it for this week's episode. My name is John.
I'm Ryan.
And thank you for listening, and enjoy November.